Hey guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I've learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And things that I am continuing to learn as I continue to grow every day. And I have several meditations that I've picked out, ones that I have not read already today. I was going through like these files that I have of all of my mom's writing. So I talked about this on here before, but my mother actually wrote almost an entire book, and it was called Dear Mick, or Waiting on a Friend, and it was letters to Mick Jagger, because she loved Mick Jagger, and it was about women getting older, and it was about her feelings about getting older and things like that. And so I was going through some of it today, and I thought, you know, I might start reading some of that on here. So if that's something that you guys would be interested in, let me know. It would be interesting to read that. I always say interesting, don't I? It's like my go-to word. It would be fascinating for me to read that at the age that my mother was when she was writing it. So I'm thinking about doing that. If that's something that you guys would like to hear on here, let me know. Put it in the comment section below. But I have two meditations picked out, and if it doesn't go too long, then I'm going to read the third one, which is right here. So the first one that I am going to read is A Time to Be Free, Daily Meditations for Enhancing Self-Esteem, and it is October 18th. I remember the first time that someone suggested I live my life a day at a time. She presented the idea as if imparting a priceless nugget of wisdom. I smiled to myself and shrugged inwardly. What's the big deal about that, I thought. How else does one live if not a day at a time? Before long, however, my closed-minded and know-it-all attitude changed radically. She was absolutely right, I saw. There was indeed great wisdom in the suggestion that I live a day at a time. Hadn't I always approached new challenges in their entirety as something to be taken on all at once? Hadn't I been frustrated countless times by my unrealistic expectations? Hadn't I frequently been overwhelmed by what I faced or might face in the weeks, months, or years ahead? I've since learned that I can reduce even the most formidable tasks to manageability by approaching it a day at a time, or, if that's too much, an hour, or even 5 minutes at a time. I've discovered, moreover, that I can successfully accomplish and get through just about anything, from routine responsibilities to an unexpected trauma, a day at a time. Thought for today. Am I still taking on everything all at once, or am I learning to live one day at a time? It's interesting, this paragraph where it says, I've since learned that I can reduce even the most formidable tasks to manageability by approaching it a day at a time, or if that's too much, an hour or even 5 minutes at a time. So one of my old sponsors used to always say to me, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, which is kind of a gross analogy. But the other thing he would say to me, you know, is like, if there was a huge like tree in the woods that fell down, like, could you pick it up and move it? And I would say no. And he'd say, but what if you cut that tree into, let's say, 100 pieces and moved it piece by piece? Could you move it then? And I would say, well, yeah, absolutely. And he'd say, you have to look at things in life as far as like moving them piece by piece, you know, and that's how we live life, one day at a time. We don't live a life a year at a time or a month at a time, right? But I think in our heads often, and I know I have, we do that. We think about, you know, what's going to come up next. We think about Christmas, and we think about, you know, the next holiday, the next vacation. We think about the wedding that we're planning. We get so focused on that, right? Or we think about things in the past that have happened without living in today. And I actually just addressed this in the last video that I made, and I was talking about how it's okay to, you know, clean up the wreckage of our past and look at our past and our memories in today. And we can also prepare for the future, you know, prepare for tomorrow and dream about tomorrow and all plan for tomorrow in today. But we also want to live in today and enjoy today, because the other recovery saying is, if I have one foot in yesterday and one foot in tomorrow, I poop all over today. So we want to remember that, you know, so I want to remember that. So I am focused on today, because then I miss out on the gifts of today. You know, like that actually was the last meditation that I had read, that, you know, yesterday is, you know, where is it at? It's probably right in here. From yesterday as a gift or whatever. It was in one of these meditations. So anyway, I mean, we have to remember, oh, here it is. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery. That was yesterday's meditation, you know, and today is a gift. And we have to remember that, I think, so that we don't miss out on the blessings and the gratitude. The other thing that I wanted to say, you know, was when in the first paragraph where it talks about, I remember the first time that somebody suggested I live my life a day at a time. She presented the idea as if imparting a priceless nugget of wisdom. I smiled to myself and shrugged inwardly. What's the big deal about that, I thought. How else does one live if not a day at a time? And I think this is an important, here I'm gonna take off my sandals. Literally October and freezing, and I still have my Birkenstock sandals on. And shorts, jean shorts and a hoodie. But you know, I want to talk about this because this has been something that has just recently happened to me. These ideas, and my best friend and I were just talking about this the other night when we were driving around. We drive around, get fountain pops, and solve the world's problems. And I was telling her this, you know, that these ideas that I feel like I have known, like I've known for a long time, I think maybe I haven't internalized. And just recently, mostly the last year and a half, since I have been so focused on inventory and evaluation and really looking at who I was and who I am and who I want to be, I've really taken a look at the patterns in my life of lessons that have been, you know, proposed to me, that I have learned, what things I've learned over time. And one of the greatest lessons I have learned recently, and I talk about this a lot on here, is, you know, about staying in my own lane. And this is about everything in my life, you know, from my personal life to my family life to my marriage to whatever. It's over here about staying in my own lane and not pointing the finger at other people. And when I do that, you know, like I always say, it's like, you know, if you're pointing your finger at somebody else, 3 fingers are pointing back at you. Yes, that is true. But the other thing is that life is too short for me to fix somebody else. I can't fix somebody else. I can't fix somebody else. I can't fix an organization. I can't fix, you know, whatever ideas are out there. I can only work on myself. And life is really, really too short for me to give that energy and that time to somebody, to somebody else. I want to focus that attention on me because I'm only going to be here but for, you know, a glimpse. I want to enjoy it. I want to be the best version of myself that I can be. And when I am like looking at somebody else and focusing on them and what they're doing and all that kind of stuff, I'm not focusing on me. And I've known that, I've known that for 30 years of my life, maybe longer than that, right? I mean, that's something that we learn when we're getting on the school bus for first grade. But I didn't even take the school bus. I was a walker in elementary school. But, you know, like, that's something that we learn in first grade, you know, is like focus on yourself, not on other people. Eyes on your own page kind of thing. But the reality is, you know, eyes on your own page, don't cheat off of somebody else. Well, if you are focused on somebody else, you're cheating yourself out of what you could be learning on your own, you know? These are things we learn very, very young. But it took me till 47 to really, really understand that, to get it, to be like, I let go of all of this because I just want to focus on Peter. I don't want to focus on all of this exterior stuff that I have no control over anyway. And I think it's really about being open to the lesson, you know? It's like, when I saw the episode of Oprah originally where she talks about gratitude and she reads this book called Simple Abundance, you know, she's like overwhelmed with tears, okay? And I'm sitting there watching it and I'm like, yeah, gal, like, I get it, okay? Gratitude, like, I've practiced it for 20 years of my life. Like, what don't you get about gratitude? Like, you know? And then I did the gratitude thing when I was, you know, reading the Rhonda Byrne book called Magic, and I practiced gratitude, and it's part of recovery. I practiced it for a long time. Not until last year when I did a written gratitude list every single night before I went to bed and read it out loud, and then the next day did a gratitude list as well. Not until I actually practiced, put practice to it, you know, pen and paper, and read it out loud, did I really, every day, a gratitude list for an entire year, did I really grasp truly, truly the effects that gratitude had on me? What, 46? You know, so we can have these ideas, but until we internalize them and put action to them, they don't really mean anything. So you can understand a concept, but until you actually put some action to, until you actually put some action to it and really believe it in your heart of hearts, nothing's going to change. Your life's not going to change and you're not going to change. So you have to ask yourself, do I want to change? I want to change today. I want to change for the better. I want to be the best version of myself that I can be. I don't want to miss out on life. I don't want to miss out on experiences that I could have, you know, doing things with people, enjoying my friends and, you know, having fun with my husband and going places and, like, you know, just enjoying my, I don't want to miss out on that by focusing on other things that do not matter. So, you know, it's really been a valuable lesson to me that in focusing on myself, I was really able to enjoy, appreciate, and be grateful more for the life that I was given, which just, I mean, talk about simple abundance. I mean, it gave me even more abundance of life, you know? And I didn't know that when I started my journey. I thought, oh my God, to always have to look at your part in something. Like, I got so tired of it. I was like, man, do I have a part in everything, you know? And so it was really hard for me at first. But then when I started doing it, I was like, this has really enriched my life. I mean, really, really enriched my life to take the focus off of other people and just be like, yeah, I got to focus on myself. Like, it's about me at the end of the day, you know? So that's a great meditation. Okay, the next one that I'm going to read is from Nightlight by Amy Dean, a book of nighttime meditations from Hazelden Meditation Books. October 18th. There is more to life than increasing its speed. Mahatma Gandhi. We live in an age of instant... My mom loved that movie, Gandhi, by the way. It was one of her favorite movies. We shall start over. We shall start over. October 18th. There is more to life than increasing its speed. Mahatma Gandhi. We live in an age of instant coffee, one-minute managers, and same-day mail delivery. The speed of living seems to increase every year with improved methods of communication, travel, and manufacturing. Because of this, we may feel our daily work in the program and the subtle changes in our behavior are not fast enough. How can we keep pace with the world if we're spending years on recovery? It is the quality of a thing that is important. Instant coffee is a great convenience, but brewed coffee tastes better. Driving in the fast lane all the way to a destination will get us there faster, but we won't enjoy much of the scenery we pass through. Life isn't a race won by the fastest. If we set a goal and don't attain it within the time frame we set, we do not fail. We readjust our schedule. Living to the fullest doesn't mean living in the fast lane. It means taking the scenic route, stopping often to appreciate the view, and sharing the ride. I can slow down my pace and appreciate the road I travel by taking my time and meeting fellow travelers. You know, I get asked a lot, like, by people that are younger, like people in their late 20s, or like my husband's age, you know, he's 35 and stuff, you know, like, what's something that you wish that you had known when you were younger? And one of the things that I wish that I had known was that, come here, bud, was that the things I put priority on, or the things that I thought were important, they really weren't that important. There was no, you know, secret to being successful at a really young age. It really just didn't matter. You know, and I look at that now and I always felt this rush. You know, I gotta get here, I gotta be this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this by a certain age, you know? And then when I got there, I compared myself to other people. Boo Radley is behind me. He's making, do you hear that? He likes to dig in the chair. But you know, then when I got there, I looked at it and I thought, okay, so I'm here now, what? And then I compared myself to other people that got there quicker than me or had it better than me, you know? What I know today and what I feel in my heart of hearts is, you know, I say this a lot, but I don't really care about the grain of the hair or the white beard. I don't really care about the wrinkles that I've earned. What I care about is the time that I've had. And the reality is that more time goes by, the less time that I have. And I say this on my vlog a lot, but I really, truly, truly do mean it. I wish I could stop time sometimes, you know? I wish I could just sit, and being peaceful and calm and serene has really allowed me to enjoy something like that. You know, in the past, that would be something that drove me crazy. You know, I'd probably stop the video and be like, okay, boo, come on now, you know. There will be a day when he is not here scratching at the chair. And sometimes I wish I could just slow down things, you know? I wish I could stop things. There's no race to life. And once you start enjoying each and every single moment, then life means a whole lot more to you. There's no race. Wherever you're supposed to get is where you will get, and wherever you are is exactly where you're supposed to be. And once I understood that, life became a lot easier for me. I love those meditations today. Those were fantastic. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.